is it
Adani.
unreasonable? Is it
Yeah.
unreasonable to believe that the Hindenburg group of short sellers doesn't have a vested interest? Number one. Number two, that this particular report, supposedly the Hindenburg lot were looking into the antecedents of Mr. Adani for several years, but timed it before an FPO. Could it be possible that there is a conflict of interest here? Could it also be possible that the opposition is making such a big deal because in practice they subscribe, they welcome Adani and his money. However morally inappropriate it might be today for them, they invite it into their states. Why shouldn't we believe this is a hit job? This is a question.
So let me start with your Hindenburg question. The fact of the matter is that Hindenburg, everyone knows, is a short seller, and doing short selling is done in our country, it's done in America, and it's not illegal. So why are we surprised? Point one, more important points than the Hindenburg report are the following. First of all, why is it that Indian mutual funds have not been investing at all in Adani companies? Someone should answer that question. Point one. Point two, what is Mr. Adani's answer to the issue raised about share price manipulation by foreign shell companies? That's the second point. The third point is that LIC has allocated 1% of its assets under management into one company, one set of companies, Adani. Why? How come? This is a real issue. Fourthly, we know that 88,000 crores worth of public sector banks, Indian banks' money has been allocated to Adani Group. And it's obviously public money. It's for us as citizens, and it's for the regulators, SEBI and RBI, to be concerned.
Okay.
And finally, the final point is that it raises questions about corporate governance in our country, and especially about corporate governance in a group of companies which 3 years ago had net worth of $20 billion. Within 3 years, it has acquired a large number of assets, and its net worth has shot up to $120 billion. Would not our regulators, or should not our regulators, be asking questions about how come in a matter of 3 years a company goes from $20 billion to $120 billion and becomes a monopolist in a variety of sectors? So these are questions. I don't care what the other parties are doing or saying. I genuinely do not care. My concern as an economist is, what's the state of corporate governance? What's the state of regulators? What's the state of corporate governance in LIC?
Let me step in. Very good, very passionate, very lovely. You began by saying Hindenburg is a short seller. Why are we surprised? The whole point is that we're not. And that is what Mr. Barrier has said. That is what Tushar has said. He has said that because they are short sellers who buy when stocks fall, it was within their interests to put out a so-called gamed report
Rahul,
on the Adani.
I know this.
No,
It's very simple.
so you are conceding.
I know this.
Hang on. We can't, no, one second. Let me finish, sir. Dr. Mehrotra, let me finish.
There's nothing to concede, Baba.
No, if you are conceding that point, then why are we debating this? Because it is because of Mr. Hindenburg or whatever the lot people's names are, their report, that the stocks tanked. And therefore, these questions of corporate governance, etc., that's the source
Rahul,
of it.
we know why we are debating.
So then, if the report is motivated...
months ago, from a Fitch rating, CLSA report... No, hold on. May I finish?
Please.
We knew from months ago that CLSA, Fitch ratings had already reported to us that this is a highly over-leveraged group, and I think that has been demonstrated. And we also still must ask the question, why are Indian mutual funds not investing in the Adani group of companies?
I'll bring in.
Someone has to answer that.